and yet they carried the culture on because the mass culture, the culture decided what was norm for them. And it's interesting how many times our society does that, how many things we do in culture that is culturally learned and not connected to truth, not connected to reality. You'll be surprised how many times we go to either a church service or we go to a business or we go into a family and we see traditions and things that are done or ways of speech that are disconnected, and they're so disconnected they're almost hilarious in nature. So what we find out is that culture, because of this thinking, because of the understanding that culture moves forward even without ration, that culture left to solve its own problems degrades down to its most base possible condition. In other words, if we don't have leadership continually speaking into the things that I've been talking about over the last 3 days, talking about the foundations of human engagement, doing things for the right reasons, doing things out of vision, doing things out of divinity, if we don't have people continually refreshing the reasons for why we do things, society will always degrade down to a thoughtless mass. And we see that success without renewed purpose always equals impending doom. And we know people that have said the people who refuse to examine history are those who are destined to repeat it. And we see it in Rome. We saw the crashing of almost every major civilization. And people continue to refuse to learn from the things that history teaches us. Start listening to those that are complaining and whining and wanting more, and we serve them out of that voice. We serve them out of the wrong side of the fence. And so we in our country right now, we have a crisis in education and in government and in religion and in family and in media and in science. Our society has now grown up to a point where we have the absolute fulfillment of the word, apparent success blinds most men. And you guys have heard me tell the story about back in the 1950s, there was a man named Dr.